Hello there, my dear senior high students. I am Teacher Algie from Talabastagan Integrated School. How are you? Do you miss being in school? I do. Don't worry, you will soon see your friends and teachers in school. Are you ready for another video that's full of learnings? Video that will make you think and learn significant things. Before we start for another interactive discussion, I just want to remind you about the three important things. First, ready your materials such as your pen and paper and your calculator for you to take note the important details about our topic for today. Second, always listen and understand the key concepts that will be discussed on this video lesson. And of course, the third one, do not forget to enjoy and relax while you learn. Are you all ready for our today's lesson? Great! Let us now dig deeper by knowing first the end in mind. Here are our 4 specific goals that we have to attain at the end of this video lesson. First, convert fraction to decimal and vice versa. Second, convert decimal to percent and vice versa. Third, convert fraction to percent and vice versa. And lastly, give real-life situations of fractions, decimals, and percent. If you do not have any question in mind, let us have first our brain booster. Let us have now this scenario. If you will be taking one slice of pizza, what fractional part of the whole pizza you took? How will you write the decimal part of that sliced pizza? What percent is left on the remaining pizza from the box? Fractions, decimal, and percent are all just different ways of writing numbers, but they are all the same. Let us now understand how these three have relationships and how conversation among them takes place. Let us now proceed to our discussion.
Our topics for today are: first, convert fraction to decimal and vice versa. Second, convert decimal to percent and vice versa. And lastly, convert percent to fraction and vice versa.
Let's start on how to convert fraction to decimal. To reduce fraction into decimal, we simply perform the long division. First, let's have an example. Convert 3/4 into decimal. In our given fraction, which is 3/4, 3 is the numerator and 4 is the denominator. Our solution for that will be 3 will be our dividend and 4 will be our divisor. Since 3 is not divisible by 4, we will add 0, a decimal point and 0. Now we will divide 30 by 4. So 30 divided by 4, this will give us a quotient of 7. The next step will be 7 times 4 will be 28. And now, we will subtract 30 by 28. So 30 minus 28, this will give us a difference of 2. So now, since 2 is not divisible by 4, we will add another 0. So bring down that 0. So our number now will be 20. Now we will divide 20 by 4. So 20 divided by 4, this will give us a quotient of 5. The next step now, we will multiply that quotient, which is 5, to our divisor. So 5 times 4 is 20. So 20 minus 20, this will give a difference of 0. So therefore, 3/4 is equal to 0.75 or 7500. Now, let's proceed to converting decimal to fraction. So how to convert decimal to fraction? So to change decimal to fraction, we convert a decimal into a fraction with the denominator in multiples of 10, hundreds, thousands, and reduce the said fraction into lowest terms. Let's have an example. Convert 75 hundreds into fraction. So since our given has two decimal places, therefore the denominator will be 100. Then the numerator will be the given decimal itself, which is 75. So we have now 75 over 100. We will reduce this fraction into lowest term by getting their GCF, which is 25. So we will divide that 25 to the both numerator and denominator. So now we have 75 divided by 25. This will give us 3. And lastly, 100 divided by 25. This will give us a quotient of 4. Therefore, 75 hundredths is equal to 3/4. Now we are done with converting fraction to decimal and vice versa. Let us now proceed to our second topic, which is converting decimal to percent and vice versa. So let's have first converting decimal to percent. To convert decimal to percent, we move the decimal point 2 places to the right and affix the percent sign. So let's have an example. Convert 35 hundredths into percent. So we will just move the decimal point of the given decimal 2 places to the right. So let's count 1, 2, and affix our percent sign. So therefore, 35 hundredths is equal to 35%. So now let's proceed to converting percent to decimal. So to convert decimal to percent, we move the decimal point 2 places to the left and drop the percent sign. So let's have an example. First example is convert 35% into decimal. Since our given is 35%, the decimal point is in the last place value. So move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So let's count 2. 1, 2, and put the decimal point. Then drop the percent sign. So therefore, 35% is equal to 35 hundredths. We are done with converting fraction to decimal and vice versa. We're also done with converting decimal to percent and vice versa. Let us now proceed to our last topic, which is converting percent to fraction and vice versa. So let's have first convert percent to fraction. So to convert fraction to percent, we first change percent to decimal. Then change the decimal to fraction and reduce to lowest terms. You can also drop the percent sign and write the number over 100. Reduce if possible. So let's have an example. Convert 14% into fraction. Here we will apply the process in the first topic and in the second topic. So, for our first solution will be, we will change 14% to decimal. So we will just move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So we'll count 2. 1, 2. Then drop the percent sign. So therefore, 14% is equal to 14 hundredths. So now we have the decimal form 14 hundredths. So for our second solution, we will change 14 hundredths to fraction. So since our given decimal has 2 decimal places, so our fraction will be 14 over 100. Since 14 over 100 can be reduced into lowest term, so we will divide their GCF by themselves. So 14 divided by 2, this will give us 7. And 100 divided by 2, this will give us 50. So therefore, 14% is equal to 7 over 50. So now let's proceed to converting fraction to percent. So to convert fractions into percent, we change the fraction into decimal by performing the division and move the decimal point 2 places to the right, then affix the percent symbol. Let's have an example. First example is convert 1 over 2 or 1/2 into percent. Our first solution will be we will change 1/2 to decimal. In our given fraction, 1 is the numerator, 2 is the denominator. So therefore, our solution will be 1 is the dividend, 2 is the divisor. So look, we cannot divide 1 by 2. So therefore, we will add 0. So our new dividend will be 10. So divide this dividend by 2, which is 10 divided by 2. The quotient is 5. Then multiply 5 by our divisor 2. This will give us a product of 10. And we will get the difference. So 10 minus 10, this will give us a difference of 0. So therefore, 1/2 or 1/2 is equal to 5/10. Now, for our second solution, since we have 5/10, we will change 5/10 into percent. So how? We will just move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So our given is 0.5 or 5/10, so let's count 2 places to the right. So we have 1, 2, then put 0 and affix the percent sign. So therefore, 0.5 or 5/10 is equal to 50%. Now we can conclude that 1/2 or 1/2 is equal to 50%. Great job, students! Now, let's proceed in wrapping up our discussion for the day. So here are the key points you should remember. First, to convert a fraction to a decimal, divide the numerator by the denominator. Second, to convert fraction to a percent, convert the fraction first to decimal, then move the decimal point 2 places to the right and add the percent sign. The third one, to convert a decimal to a fraction, read the decimal and reduce the resulting fraction. Fourth, to convert a decimal to a percent, move the decimal point 2 places to the right and add the percent sign. Fifth, to convert a percent to a decimal, move the decimal point 2 places to the left and drop the percent sign. And lastly, to convert a percent to a fraction, drop the percent sign and write the number over 100, reduce if possible. And that's all for today, students. Again, I am Teacher Algie, your math teacher, who says, aim high and strive for excellence.